From your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
All right, welcome back to Big Country Politics. We're continuing our conversation with Randy Wilson. We're talking about court-appointed attorneys and the shortage of them here in Taylor County. People say you don't want a court-appointed attorney. You know, even in movies they have this stigma about them, but it's really not the case. I mean, it's really some of the same attorneys who are doing these court appointments, or actually in the past were, and those who have not gone off of them like yourself, that are trying these cases, right? I mean, talk about that stigma if there is.
Well, you know, I make no bones about it. When a client or a prospective client comes in here and says, I don't want a court-appointed attorney, you know what they're like. And my response to that is, there's some good ones. There are. And they put their heart and mind into it and do the job. But like in any situation, you're going to have some that don't. The problem is that from a court-appointed standpoint, your lawyers cannot put the time in for what Taylor County pays. And that's bottom line. It's tough. Some of them do and just bite the bullet. But in order to make money with court appointments, you have to do a lot of them and you have to turn them quick. Now the question is, and I don't have any personal knowledge of it, but the question is, in all these court-appointed situations, is the lawyer doing the right thing? Is he putting the time in to investigate the case, so on and so forth?
Is the solution paying more for court-appointed attorneys? Is that the solution for?
I don't know that that's the
Taylor
solution.
County?
I think a number of years ago, I went to the county commissioners with a proposition to have, rather than court-appointed attorneys, you have contract public defenders. And in felony court, you would have 3, one with 15 years or more experience, one with 10 years or more experience, and one with 5 years. And you pay them an amount. Obviously, one with 15 years would get more, and it's flat amount. And then I had for county court at law, the misdemeanors, you had 12 lawyers for each court, and they could serve on both courts. 1 lawyer per month. And if there's a conflict in any of these, then the other guys that are under contract would have to do it. It gives a line item budget for court appointments. For criminal cases. Now, the other thing that has weighed, I'm sure weighing heavily on the county commissioners, is all the CPS cases where they have to appoint lawyers. And I don't know what the solution is there. You know, it's just gone nuts over the past 4 or 5 years.
With all the CPS cases.
Oh, yeah,
Having to do with meth and, all that.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, it's not always meth. I've seen an awful lot of cases in those situations where it's just young people who are investigators and caseworkers. And they go into a poor home that's not well kept, and they go nuts. And so then you get into
that as well, yeah.
I mean, and I've seen that time and time again.
Really?
Or it's my understanding that the CPS appointments are almost as much as the other 3 courts have in
put together
criminal.
Yeah.
But part of that is that, I'll tell you something else, CPS appointments pay more than criminal defense.
Yeah.
What I've been told.
Is another problem, and you being in that community, you may know this, and I know Abilene has a big push on keeping younger people here, younger professionals here. Is it a problem that people people are going to law school, passing the bar, and then not coming back to Abilene or not practicing here because, and just moving off to bigger cities because that's what young people want to do?
Well, I don't know. I really don't. Now, I know I have hired many people, lawyers, to work with me or for me, and haven't had anybody really turn me down about coming to Abilene.
Really?
No.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. Obviously, a lawyer in Abilene, for the most part, doesn't make as much as one in Dallas. But the other side of that coin is the overhead in Dallas is much higher than it is here.
Sure.
You know, there's some trade-offs that you have to deal with. And I've practiced law in Dallas and Houston years ago, and I chose to come back here because I like Abilene and I like the people and I like the atmosphere here. Do I always agree with it? No, but I do like the, I do like Abilene. I like the 5-minute rush hour.
Absolutely, which is why I think a lot of people come back here. Well, and so there's not one answer to this solution here. It sounds like there needs to be a lot of people involved in
My experience has been this, that you can go to the powers that be in the county or the city, okay, or in the state, and you can show them a logical solution to save money, and they can always find reasons not to do it. And I'm not talking about people making, $150,000 a year doing court appointments, because that doesn't happen here. That a lot of these lawyers are having a tough time. And that's one of the when I first got out of school and started practicing law, they paid you $10 if you pled them and nothing if you tried them.
Wow.
So it's come a long way.
Yeah.
But that was 49 years ago. So I'm not sure that there is an answer, and judges are pretty jealous of running their own court, and they don't want the county commissioners or someone else telling them how to do it. And I understand that. I'd feel the same way about my law practice. Nobody's going to tell me how to run it. But by the same token, the thing that I mentioned earlier about doing a contract public defender, you wouldn't believe the amount of money that would save. Tons.
Interesting. Well, we've got a lot more to talk to you about in the future. We'd like to have you back on the show.
Sure.
And thank you for being on today.
Don't mind doing it at all.
All right. Thank you, Randy Wilson. All right. We'll be back.